Hello, welcome to this video. We will go over 2019 April SAT Math Exam, Section 3, Question 14. So this question addresses the topic of complex numbers. So it's asking you, what is the sum of the complex number of 6 plus 5i and then 8 plus 3i squared? Now, before we start, I hope that we can just do a very quick review of the complex number. Now, first they tell you that, hey, I is equal to square root of -1. So very generous, so that you don't you don't think the I as a variable. It tells you very specifically that I is a complex number, is the square root of -1. So one thing that is very common that you may expect to see is these powers of complex numbers. So I is just I. Now, what about I square? I square is -1. Now, if you wonder why this is -1, it's because I square means I times I, and that is equal to square root of -1 times square root of -1. And that is how you get -1. Or, in other words, the other way you can think about this is that I squared is the same thing as square root of -1 square. And square root, they cancel out each other. That's how you get -1. Now, this is very crucial because it would help you determine the value at the end. Now, next thing is, what about I cube? Well, I cube is -I, because I cube is the same thing as same thing as I square times I. And since we knew what I square is, which is -1, so -1 times I, I. Okay, what about I to the 4th power? Well, it's equal to 1 because I to the 4th is equal to I square times I square, which is -1 times -1, which is 1. Okay, so just a very quick review of what complex numbers are and how they behave as we have all these powers. So let's go ahead and look at this question. Now, one thing it should sound the alarm is that, hey, right here, you see an I square right here. So before you add these two complex numbers together, you should really take care of the I square first to avoid any further complication. So we think about, what do we know about I square? Well, we know I square is -1. So that means we have 8 minus 3, and that simply is 5. So this thing right here, it's equal to 5. And then let's go ahead and add this with the 6 plus 5i. Well, that is very, very straightforward. It's just 11 plus 5i. And answer is right here. Now, it is unlikely, well, there is no way to have a choice C because we're not multiplying, we're just adding. There's no way to have I cube. And the other choices are there just in case that you may not realize what you're doing. You might end up multiplying them together, but they're asking you what is the sum of the complex numbers. So if you know that, hey, I square looks very, very special, you take care of it, then you have a very, very easy journey to get to the answer.
Do you want some extra credit? If you do, subscribe our channel. I promise you will learn a lot more and get extra credit from that. If you have any question, please make sure that you email us at goodacademics@gmail.com. If you have any question in math, science, or education, just send them in and we will do our very best to resolve your problems. And I thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope that you will continue to learn a lot more through our channel. See you soon.